A couple things, by starting out, let me start with the concern that everybody had for Terrence Mitchell when he was down there on the sidelines, and all the thoughts, prayers, and well wishes that everybody has sent along. We really appreciate it. It has been great to see Terrence progress as he's making. He was diagnosed with a concussion, so everything, he was released from the hospital that night, Saturday night, as he checked out with all the other tests that they turned and ran. He was over here Sunday morning, had a smile on his face, wasn't moving real fast, he was a little bit sore, but he did have a smile on his face, and it's nice to see. We will continue to evaluate that as we go, whereas I certainly don't see him playing this week or coming back that fast from it, but we will continue to monitor that, and we will proceed with caution with that. The first and foremost, you're going to take care of Terrence's safety first, and that's what we want to make sure, so we'll proceed slowly along with that. As far as the Saturday night, I'm really proud of what this team was able to accomplish Saturday night. We have talked now for about 3 weeks in a row about playing to a standard, playing to a level, and not playing against an opponent, but going out and playing ourselves. And I'm really proud of the focus that this team has been able to have, and not playing to the level of its competition, but going out and being able to perform at their potential and their capabilities. So really proud of what they were able to do offensively. Again, statistically, very big night. You look at the job B.J. Daniels doing, what Daryl Scott did, the way he's playing, but even more so than that, to see some other people turn and get involved. Sterling Griffin has been involved, B.J., Daryl Scott, but all of a sudden Lindsey Lamar takes a very active role in the offense that night. And it's nice to see him get involved, and a guy like Victor Mark, who we've identified as a guy who's really doing some great things and needs to have the opportunity to have the ball under his arm a little bit more, because he does have some run with the catch capabilities, which is something we've really been stressing. And it was nice to see those guys really come out. The offensive line continue to go out there every day and grind without anybody talking about them or mentioning them, so to speak. They're not the names. I continually say that. If we robbed a bank and didn't want anybody to know who we were, we'd become offensive linemen, because they sit there with very little exposure, but they're the guys that really make the wheels on the bus go round. They're the guys that work as hard as they do. They're the ones with their hands taped and the knee braces on, and they're down in the trenches winning every day. And I think those guys are really playing well, especially interior. Chaz Hine, moving him to center has turned out to be a really good move for us from the guard position. We're getting a lot of productivity out of our center position. And then the two guards being Dana Sestanor, the way he has played, and also Jeremiah Warren. I think those guys are playing solid inside, and Mark Popek and Q Eatman keep getting better and better each and every week as two new guys, new additions to the offensive line, and I think they're doing a really nice job. On the defensive side of the ball, Ryan Giddens kind of had a little bit of his coming out party. When you sit down and break it down play after play, he played 60 plays, and I thought really did a nice job in the football game. Ryan Giddens played very well. I think the three safeties being Joyce, Young, and Legist, all three played a really solid football game. We're getting a lot of mileage out of Mark Joyce as a true sophomore, and that he's having the opportunity to play and roll from one to the next. We've got kind of a three-man rotation going with those guys, getting them all experience. And I thought Kayvon Webster played really well at the field corner position. He continually plays well and is doing some good things. The linebackers, Barrington, Linares, Lattimore, really playing solid for us, playing solid football. I think defensively, the front four and the linebackers, and in the secondary, we're doing some good things. We did not start the way we would have liked to. You go back, we gave up a fourth down. We have a missed assignment and gave up a big play for a touchdown there. We were down on about the 30-yard line, had a missed assignment, gave up a big touchdown pass there, where we made a couple uncharacteristic mistakes, but really went in, and I thought in the second half, Mark Snyder and the defensive staff did a great job of kind of getting the players' attention and getting them to go out and to perform at the level they're capable of, and I thought the second half was a much better performance from the defensive side of the ball. The special teams, I give UTEP a lot of credit. We stood up here a week ago and talked about how they were 8th in the country as a kickoff return and what they were doing. Special teams, and they do a great job, not just the return, but they do a great job with their schemes. But from a standpoint of the level we're playing at, that is, right now it's not where it needs to be. And right now that's our Achilles heel kind of as a football team through our first 4 games in an area we have to get better in. I don't think anybody's pointing fingers. As coaches, we haven't gotten it done. As coaches, you're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. Neither one is good. And right now we've got to turn, we've got to get some things straight on the special teams. We've got to look at ourselves first, the scheme we're running it with, the people we're running it with, what we're asking these young men to do. And that's what we have to go. We have to look at that hard. That's an area that we've got to turn and get cleaned up as we turn and get into conference play this week. Injury-wise, I talked a little bit about Terrence Mitchell not being there. Ernie Tabutu, so I get that right. Ernie Tabutu has back spasms and right now will not practice tonight. I don't know where it's going to be. That's been kind of his nagging problem all through camp, where he's been, we've talked about in the secondary, it's been hard to develop continuity and consistency because Ernie's been out with the back on and off, Jenkins has been on and off, Ricardo Dixon's been on and off, George Baker's been on and off. It's just been hard to get any consistency back there, and it looks like you're coaching a new face every single day. And hopefully if we can get some consistency, having both Jenkins and Q Washington back this week ought to be helpful for us. We'll find out a little bit more tonight, but I would expect them to be back. Butler should be back with his hamstring, and Kibler should also be back with his knee. So hopefully those four will give us a little bit more consistency and continuity in a secondary that right now we need it because there's some guys really playing well back there. Stepping in this week,